Last time on the Atomic Power Racing Hour.
And it is green racing under blue sky. And made a move on the inside of turn number 2. He's trying it here. Off of turn number 2. Gets down to the inside of Adam Turner and will take the race lead away. Sean Beardsley out in front into 3 and 4 for the final time. A driver looking for his 4th feature win of the year, but the first on the Go Nuclear Late Model Tour. Biggest win of the season for Sean Beardsley.
The sun is now set, and it's time for the nightcap on the smooth Mohawk surface. The fans are ready to go, and the teams are too, as many are scrambling to get their cars ready once again by making adjustments so they can properly tackle the slick conditions. Tonight, we take a look at the aerodynamics of late models and then watch them as they sling the clay around the 4/10 mile in pursuit of victory. The question is, who will claim the trophy tonight when the action heats up and the sparks fly? Find out next on the Atomic Power Racing Hour.
It's another edition of the Atomic Power Racing Hour here from the Mohawk International Raceway on the Akwesasne Indian Reservation in northern New York. I'm Paul Small. Tonight, the Go Nuclear Late Model Challenge Series faces yet another challenge. The entire afternoon, there's been racing here at the Mohawk International Raceway. This 4/10 mile racing surface has seen a couple of 100 laps worth of racing action. That means the track is hard and slick. It's starting to take rubber, but the conditions will change throughout the evening. The drivers are going to have to try to adjust their cars as best as possible to the changing conditions, and tonight you'll do as much steering with your right foot on the throttle as you will with the steering wheel. Earlier tonight, we had a chance to see how these cars were going to handle the racetrack during hot laps. For the call of that, here's my broadcast partner, Rich Fleck.
Well, undoubtedly, this is a very different night for the late model teams as the track is as slick as it would be at feature time here in the hot lap session. They get the green flag and are underway. One of the cars out there, point leader Dale Caswell, who has a win here earlier this season.
Alan Fink ran into trouble last time, but feels confident about his slick track setup.
Yeah, we got to figure it out pretty good when it gets slippery, and I just stay out of bad luck, hopefully, and be there at the end.
Fink crashed on the opening lap earlier in the day. Tim Sears Jr. in the 3T also runs well on slick tracks. It's something he feels is due in part to the multiple divisions he's competed in.
We ran sportsmen's, and now I'm running a modified, so we're getting a lot of seat time and a little bit of everything.
And there's the winner last time out, Sean Beardsley, who explained to our Greg Bayraj a possible reason for his recent success.
Yeah, the first time I came here, I think I had a shot go bad. And I ended up with a 6th place finish because my car was shoving. It took me several weeks to figure out that was the problem, but at the end of the day, we figured it out, and the car's been on rails since.
A lot of eyes will be on Beardsley tonight as he goes for the Daily Double. We'll get to see him in Heat Race 1 coming up next here on the Atomic Power Racing Hour.
The 2012 Go Nuclear Late Model Challenge Series is presented by Elias Tire, American Racer Tire, FX Cabrera Car Company, Bilstein Shock Absorbers, Bernheisel Race Cars, Proven Chassis, and Carly Motorsports. Performance Signs, Atomic Chassis, Finish Line Web Design, and Tenace Diversified.
We're coming to you once again from the Mohawk International Raceway in northern New York, where it's time for heat race action. This is the first of 3 10-lap events. The focus will be on finishing in the top 4 spots, which gives those drivers a chance at drawing a front row starting spot for the 30-lap feature. He1's going green. Here's Rich Fleck.
Well, things going well so far today for Sean Beardsley. Wins the day race, draws the pole for this first heat race with Art Halliday to his outside. You've got Rick Miller, one of the top names, started in 4th. Greg Bellier in 5th. The teammates of A.J. Kingsley and Tim Sears back in row number 4. All these heat races going to be loaded today, but none more than this one, ready to come to green. 10 laps to be the distance, and the top 4 are going to make the all-important redraw for an opportunity to start on the pole for tonight's feature event. A little sideways on the start on this slippery race surface for Art Halliday. He scoots up the racetrack in the black 87, drops back to position number 3. Rick Miller already up 2 spots, and here comes Kaylee Weiss on the outside. Weiss started back in spot number 6, now going after the 3rd spot in the pink and yellow 77. She keeps it up on the top line. Here comes AJ Kingsley in the blue 3K. He makes a nice move on the outside of the racetrack as well and goes for that 4th and final redraw position. Weiss off of turn number 2, gets it a little sideways. She spins around, collects Art Halliday, and the caution's going to have to fly as we have our first yellow of the evening. Kaylee Weiss, who had such a strong opening lap, with an issue off of turn number 2 and collecting Halliday.
When taking a look once again, you'll see the pink 77 of Weiss get loose in front of a pack of cars, leaving nowhere for Halliday to go. Both cars are able to continue, but will need to restart from the tail of the field. With the race not yet to halfway, they're reassembled in double file formation coming to the green. Let's go back up to Rich Vleck.
Well, for Sean Beardsley, things could not be going much better right now. Won his heat race and the feature in the day session. Leads here coming back to green, but Rick Miller's been strong all afternoon as well, despite running into some problems. They work into turn number 1 and 2, and it's Greg Bellier in the 25 going to follow Miller through on the top. Now switches to the bottom lane and runs side by side for the runner-up position as they come by to complete lap number 4. Couple of team cars working side by side for the 4th and final redraw position. Tim Sears Jr. down on the inside, makes the move underneath AJ Kingsley and would have a top 12 starting spot for tonight's 30-lap feature event. Bellier scoots through on the inside of the racetrack, now slides up and gives chase to Sean Beardsley coming to halfway. Top 5 able to break away from the rest of the pack. But again, the focus is on the 4th and final transfer spot into the redraw. Right now, the 3T of Tim Sears Jr. holds on to that position. 3rd place finisher here at Mohawk in 2 shows so far this season. Drives up the racetrack and looks to cross over heading into turn number 3. No, he stays to the top now. Pulls even with Rick Miller. Miller, who had run the top line up until this point, switches to the bottom, and no better result for the number 98 as Tim Sears Jr. out of Clayton, New York, works by into position number 3, so safely into the redraw now. Beardsley still the race leader. Greg Bellier runs in position number 2, and in 3rd is Tim Sears Jr. That's the way they finished earlier today in the feature event made up from last night. In that event, it was Beardsley holding off the late charges of Greg Bellier. Track very similar right now, so Bellier again going to make a move on the outside of the racetrack. The Ontario driver scoots in high off of turn number 4, looks to have the momentum, and nearly pulls even at the line. 3 laps left to go. Greg Bellier, driver from the Brighton Speedway, has had a very nice season up there with 5 wins. And off of turn number 2 and down the backstretch into turn number 3, may have the race lead here with 2 to go. That is the case. Greg Bellier, a veteran of many classes of dirt track racing competition, puts his Tower Service 25 out in front of the field. No harm for Beardsley, though, still in a redraw position. But again, he hasn't lost so far today. Bellier looking for his first qualifying heat race win on the Go Nuclear Late Model Tour this season with the white flag out. Tim Sears still rides in position number 3. Rick Miller also in the redraw. But down the backstretch for the final time and into turn number 3 and 4. No issues for Greg Bellier. What an impressive move to drive forward from 5th into the race lead. He will pick up qualifying heat race number 1. Beardsley still good enough for 2nd to make the redraw along with Sears, and 4th to the line will be Rick Miller, holding off the advances of AJ Kingsley.
After his great performance on the track, our Greg Byrosh caught up with Greg Bellier to get his thoughts on his run.
Well, how about that? We get to talk to Greg Bellier after a win this time. Nice job in heat number 1.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. The track was pretty slick, but we've been adjusting on this thing, and I don't know, we're not going to change much. I think we got what we got here and carry on.
We're through just one of 3 heat races from here at Mohawk, where there are so many cars on the pitch tonight that they're parking teams in the infield. Heat 2 is coming up next, so don't go away. We'll be right back on the Atomic Power Racing Hour.